The struggles of being pretty in today's society.
What?
I didn't know being attractive was a struggle.
I was out one day at a day party, broad daylight,
Kundigaba.
She kind of bad. I'm not gonna. Hey.
with a very attractive friend of mine named Renya. And Renya's very kind, very sweet, definitely stay out of the way type of girl. So we're just chilling, having a few drinks, dancing or whatever. And next thing you know, someone was driving by and they were like cursing us out. I'm like, what? And that's when she told me the girl pushed her while we were in the club. I'm like, what? I was like so confused, like, what? And I told my friend Nadia about that one day, and Nadia was like, oh, she did that because she didn't like her because she was pretty.
What?
Really? Really? That's the only possible reason she could have done that. Not because your friend was actually being a douchebag to them or like being very impolite to them or like very disagreeable. It's not any of that. It's because she's jealous that you're pretty. Okay, if that's the way things work for attractive people, I wouldn't know. So
And that's when Renya was like, you should do a video about being attractive and how challenging it actually can be. Just dealing from all angles, really. Dealing from women who feel like they're attractive and then they sit there and they try to compete with you because in their minds it's like some fucking race. And Renya is actually the one who told me something very wise one day. We were out one time, like a couple years ago actually, and she said, you know, Vanessa, it gets to a certain point when you can't even measure it, a person's beauty. As far as like who's more attractive, who's the most attractive, and I agree 100%. What else about being attractive? First of all, people treat you like you're different than others, whether it's good treatment, you know, or bad treatment. I feel like it's not accurate. It's not. Sometimes attractive people tend to be treated not like a celebrity, but you know, they'll get doors opened for them more, they'll get free things more. And I'm not saying that it's bad, but I mean, treat everybody like that, you know?
that's an extremely idealistic way to look at things like, oh, don't treat me like this. You should treat everyone like this because everyone is equal. And no, that's not how it's going to work. You're attractive. You're going to have life so much easier. You're going to have doors open for you. You're going to get free stuff. Or I believe that's what you just like said. Life generally just goes better for you if you're like a beautiful woman.
Life is good. You know what I mean?
That's not going to change. And no matter how much you want to like detach yourself, like, oh no, I don't want to be, you want to seem like you're a good person and like detaching yourself from like, oh, don't treat me that way. Just treat everyone like that. Right. And you think you're doing a good thing. Right. But some people might actually perceive it as you being like this condescending, like you're rubbing it in their face, like sort of like fake humility, like, oh, you don't need to treat me like I'm such a goddess. I'm so right. It comes off as very condescending and very annoying, and you know, it might be perceived the wrong way if you do it to the wrong person.
At the end of the day, looks are just looks, and it's not who a person is. It's a part of your body, etc. But looks fade. So being attractive, really, like, what weight does it truly have? Especially when people use it for the wrong things. Like, kind of in the last video that I was talking about, using a feminine, like, you know, feminine energy and feminine power to receive things. I know plenty of attractive women who use their looks to get money, use their looks to get a lot of things from men, for example, because they know the power of it.
It's not just beautiful women. It's just like women in general. That's what the smart ones do. That's what the smart ones do. The ones that are that don't like see the play and like see 10 moves ahead, they're the ones who are like, I don't need a man or something like that. Like I don't need a man, or like when they get a man, they're very disagreeable. They don't realize the power they have. It's like if you act in a feminine way, men will do anything for you. I mean, some men will, but some won't. I mean, people are different after all, but some women just don't realize the amount of power they have, and it's kind of funny to see, actually.
But at what point is the power of your beauty becoming a form of abuse? You know, there's so much to say about being an attractive person and the way and the challenges that come with it. How does one learn to hold and harness their beauty in a way where it's not going to affect people negatively?
Again, I do appreciate that you want to point out how bad it is and how when beautiful women shouldn't really abuse their looks, right? But let's look at it this way. What incentive do they have to not do that as opposed to doing that? What incentive do they have to not use their looks to their advantage, which is like just so much better than using their looks to their advantage? What incentive do they have? I'm waiting. Okay, this is killing my attention. They have none. They have none. They literally have no incentive to act in a fair way, if you will. And I think this applies to some extent to almost all women you'd consider beautiful, no matter how noble they are or how so much of good people they are. Most beautiful girls I've known in my life, no matter how cool they are, they've at least acknowledged it to some extent or used their looks to their advantage in some way. That's just going to happen. No matter how much you try to convince people, oh, it's not fair, you shouldn't do that, it's still going to happen. So
You have envy, for example, where people might just look at you or at first they look at you and they think, oh, she's a pretty girl, but then they get close to you and it's like, fee fi fo fum, I want her dead because
I'm sexy and I know it.
the person's envious. It's just so irrational to me how society treats people sometimes based on them being attractive.
I wouldn't say it's irrational. I mean, seeing beautiful women or seeing beautiful things in general, not just women, makes us feel good. Like body chemistry, hormones, makes us feel good. So it makes us behave a certain way, which is why if you ask a lot of guys, right? Or I guess I shouldn't say a lot of guys, I should say me. Like a thing I've noticed about me, which is very annoying, that I that's one thing I dislike about myself. And I think I still do it like to this day. Like I act so weird around like beautiful girls, particularly like I've noticed it when I was at school or like, yeah, it's just so weird. I was just being extra. And I need an accountability partner just to like check me. It was like if I start acting weird, it's like hey, calm down, boy.
Another one this is the kicker, this is the one that really kills me, is when people have an issue with what a woman does with her body.
Please don't tell me she's pro-choice. I mean, it was like she was here just because of her looks, and then when she started talking, not to like take a jab at her, but it's like she's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense what she's saying, but it's like, yeah, so it's like right there. If she ends up being pro-choice, it's just like
Whether it's her getting lip injections, Botox, I don't fucking know, ass shots. My thing is why is it a problem for you? Why sit there and criticize other women?
I don't think people have a problem with what you do with your own body. Like, no one cares. Like, Young Don, he once put it like, No one cares if you cut off your arm. No one cares. But I guess in this instance, it's like what people have a problem with is you then portraying this image of being body positive, or just like being body positive. Speak English. Body positivity, like you're secure about yourself, you're trying to convince people that you're secure, but then at the same time you're augmenting your body. It's like that's literally like the opposite. And I guess the other issue that people have is like when you start to advertise it to other people, like it's this amazing thing that you can do to yourself, like augment your body. Like, for example, BBLs, fairly common procedure, which actually has a lot of health risks and a pretty high mortality rate. And when you go out here and it's like, oh, body positivity, go get your BBL, girl. It's like, that doesn't make sense. So I would imagine that's what people have a problem with. They're not just like you going to do whatever you want with your body. If you get a tattoo, if you cut off your finger, no one cares, really. So
They're not doing any of that shit for you. They're not doing it for your approval. They're not doing it for your opinion. They're not doing it for your acceptance. They're not doing it for you to even look at them. They're trying to live their lives, is what I would think.
that's what you would think, and that's what is absolute bogus. And that's the biggest lie. So I'm supposed to believe that you get, I don't even know the names of these procedures. That's how stupid, out of touch with it I am. BBLs, Botox, I guess. You really think like you're doing that for you? Really? Like, an example that I saw somewhere is like, it's not as like severe. It's just like makeup. Like, if you knew that you are going to stay home all day and you're not going to go anywhere, it's like you're going to just be at home, would you still take the time to put like an hour putting on makeup? Would you still do that if it's just for you?
Marianne Williamson, she wrote A Return to Love. She said it best to me in a book called A Woman's Worth, where she said, don't worry about if a woman is getting fillers, doing things to enhance her looks. Like, that's none of your business. It doesn't even matter. And I totally agree. And in the world we live in 2018, with all the bullshit going on, like, shouldn't you be worried about something else of greater value than what a woman is doing with what she wears, how she does her face, what she does with whether she wears makeup or not? Like, who really gives a fuck and why? Like,
this is how you know she thinks she's the ish, right? Whenever she's talking, she's like sashaying her hair. I was like, why do you care about what a woman is doing with her own body? I'm the shit. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair that women, beautiful women, are treated differently. Worship me. Mo flip.
I know I'm venting a little bit, but it's just ridiculous the weight that people add. Like, fix your lens and your perception of what beauty truly is, because the outer will fade. And I've met plenty of people who were extremely gorgeous and beautiful on the outside, and then I got to know them a little bit better. Now that's the real tea. When you get to know someone that's very beautiful, and you might think like that values that's at weight of the value of who they are. But then you get to know them a little bit better, and you find out about things that they've done or things that they will do, ways they compromise themselves, and you're like, oh, this person's actually not that beautiful after all. So in my opinion, it's not really about how a person looks. And I just can't understand why men, for example, treat women the way they do. When they're beautiful, I've dated men who will literally go out of their way to bring you down psychologically because they can't handle the fact that you are an attractive female.
So much better than being a simp. I mean, it's not good, but it's better than being a simp. Because in fact, I think it's like the exact opposite of being a simp. It's like total like red black pill. It's like these women they ain't ish. I'm just going to put her down. It's like just assert my dominance over. It's like I'm going to make her feel like nothing. It's not good, but I mean it's kind of like the lesser of two evils. It's like
So that kills me. That, like, I just can't really understand the rationale behind it. The other kicker is, like, when women are knocking down other women, like, we are all queens.
If all of you were queens, none of you are queens. It might as well just be like calling you a woman, right? It's not anything special really with that word in particular. Not saying that nothing special with women. Obviously, they're really special, give life, or they harbor life. But I mean, like, just like the word. If I call you a woman, right, and you're a woman, you're gonna be like, yeah, right. And so if we call you all queens, it downgrades the word queen to just be like woman or like human. So if all of you are queens, none of you are queens.
So the whole saying, like, fix your crown, it's like, let me be your sister friend. Let me, we're sisters. Where is the sisterhood? Instead of the whole, like, I see plenty of women talk shit about women, especially attractive women. They'll just be so quick to talk shit about them, and I can't really understand where the hate is coming from.
Jealousy.
I mean, I do understand it. It's really a reflection of themselves and how they feel about themselves. Because truly, when someone is truly loving themselves, then they don't have a problem congratulating and being happy that they see a beautiful woman. I mean, in my opinion, a lot of women are very beautiful, and I think it's beautiful to even embrace another woman's beauty and to kind of honor it, especially because we are all queens. I'm just very passionate about that, and hopefully people can, like, learn to look at what's truly beautiful, which is what's within, and not focus so much on what they see for face value, because one, the looks will fade. Two, face value is not really full of substance. It's fleeting. It really, like, what value does it truly possess? I'm not saying looks don't matter. What I'm saying is there's beauty in other forms that matter, that have a lot more depth, that matter a little bit more. And the hate, man, people just got to stop that hating shit, man. Like, why hate someone because they're beautiful? Why hate someone because they have something you don't have? I mean, nobody can ever look like exactly like anyone else. So why be mad? Like, accept the way you look for you and be happy with it.
You need to learn to accept yourself for who you are.
That's easy for you to say with your perfect face.
Keep moving on with your life and don't worry so much about, oh, she's doing this and she got this done. Oh my God, she just got work done a few weeks ago and then a few weeks before that. Let people live in peace.
I didn't really hear anything about how beautiful women struggle in this world. From, at least not from what she said. She was like, other women are jealous. Men treat you differently. I mean, effort. I mean, she really did try to, like, yeah, she didn't do anything. She really tried to stand up for the proverbial little man, or little woman in this case. But I didn't really get anything, like, I don't know, maybe you're a beautiful woman watching this video. The likelihood of that is just, like, crazy. Maybe you can talk in the comments, like, what are some of the things that you struggle with in your life because you're beautiful?
What?
That doesn't even sound right. Now we've heard about the challenges of beautiful women, right? Now let's hear about the challenges of ugly men, right, in their lives. The video should be somewhere on the screen could like I know